Hey, this is Gareth and Bruce. This is our first attempt at a podcast.
We just don't know where it's gonna go.
You got more of the gruff voice. I got more of the
Softer feminine voice.
screw you.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't know, I felt a little snobby when we hit 10 episodes.
Okay, that's an interesting question.
The two of us can be Vin Diesel. Gareth can drive like him. And I can
You
look
can
like
look
him.
Welcome to Spaghetti Junction. My name is Gareth,
My name is Bruce.
and we talk about things. We just don't know where they're gonna go.
Hello and welcome to Spaghetti Junction Podcast. My name is Bruce
My name's Gareth.
and we talk about things.
We just don't
Know where they're gonna go. We're in a brand new,
State of the art,
undisclosed location, deep in
deep in the heart of Texas.
the heart of Joburg.
Yeah.
No, underground bunker.
Well, we're only going to be here for,
Two
episodes,
Yeah,
though.
there we go.
but I do like this setup quite a bit.
It is very cool. Hey, you gotta love that house sitting.
Yeah, I know exactly. It works. Yeah, it's nice. But now I don't know how to sit. I'm like this, or it doesn't matter, does it?
No,
So I'm just going to be like this. Hope that's all right, guys.
just don't look awkward.
No, I did. This is my relaxed mode,
Okay, cool.
and it's okay.
We might be accused of manspreading.
Manspreading.
Yes, you know the whole thing about people,
Manspreading.
People don't like how men sit because of the way we like open our legs and stuff.
I've
It's a
never
thing.
heard that before,
Haven't?
and I've been living for a long time in my life.
Oh no, dude, manspreading is a thing.
I never heard of it
Oh.
because I don't normally sit like this, dude.
Yeah.
I don't normally sit like this. I sit like that, or with my legs
Yeah.
crossed.
Yeah, no, manspreading is an actual thing.
Manspreading.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they basically saying too much dingle dongles?
Apparently, it's like it's like a too hyper masculine thing. You're kind of taking up too much space. No,
Hyper masculine.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Is that on your podcast though?
No, that's
Is that where you're hearing it on your podcast?
This is people who have a problem with.
Well, I've never
Guys.
heard of it, so I'm obviously not hyper masculine.
Yeah, it's
That's why that's why you're facing it, because that's kind of
it's
you
a
listen
thing.
to your hyper masculine podcasts.
Yeah.
That's why for me I've never heard that before.
Yeah, no, manspreading is a thing.
Okay, maybe on your side of the podcasting world. My side, never heard of it.
Anyway.
But whatever. Episode 90, yeah?
Jeez, man. Almost a 2-year celebration.
Yeah, we're getting there. Stay
Wow.
tuned for our next episode. It's going to be a popular one.
That's it.
Or popular. Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah, I was saying to Gareth, talk about being consistent, eh?
Yep.
It's been 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Don't jump
Almost.
the gun.
Almost 2 years. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. It's this own episode. So this is episode 90 that we're talking about,
Yeah.
not 2 years.
Yeah, and we're having a bit of a discussion about Canada.
Oh, you're going to jump straight in?
Oh.
I was just saying episode 90, we're enjoying the moment, and you're straight in.
Sorry.
But now that moment's gone. Wow.
My apologies. I'm jumping the gun. Maybe I'm just...
Black and grey.
yes.
Yeah, we had this discussion about colours and stuff that
about-
we would buy.
And the personalities.
Yeah,
And
because things that we buy, we will get completely different colours.
absolutely, yeah. Gareth is definitely... His personality in general, I think, is a little bit more colourful and
And then I asked you-
extroverted.
About if your colours are what? Black and grey.
Black and grey.
What that says about your
Like my soul.
your character. Your soul is black and grey.
Yeah.
So are you trying to say that the darker the colour you like, the less empathetic you are?
Yeah. I don't care about anyone's feelings. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I
That's
promise.
why I'm here. No, that's why I'm here. It's fine. No, he does. He cares.
Just not as much as people would like me to.
Yeah. or maybe you care, you just never show it.
That's
Because
also
you
true.
haven't felt it because you squashed it down so hard.
It's repressed.
So there's a lot of like really good, healthy feelings inside of you, but they're like in the floorboards
I
kind
don't
of
think we'll
thing.
ever find them.
They're on the floorboards. Like literally, someone will have to come into the house and dig up all the floorboards.
I'm a psychiatrist's dream.
Oh yeah. That's for sure. Well, I mean, I went to one for other reasons, but I ended up having 100 hours with him.
Amazing. I've never been to a psychiatrist or a psychologist in my life.
Yeah, mine was a psychologist for a bunch of other shit. Anyways, and I think I actually had about 100 hours.
Yeah.
It's like 100. Thankfully, praise God, he didn't charge me. I mean, I paid like once in a while.
Yeah.
But he knew that I didn't have much money, but he also knew that I had problems. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to help this guy. No, it was amazing. He helped me out.
Incredible.
Because I mean, if you do 100 sessions, they're between $500 and $800 a session.
Yes.
And people, unfortunately, have to. I mean, you charge, dude.
Yeah.
So you really have to have a problem before you can actually admit to do it, because you know you're going to be spending. I think he was about 700 or 650 an hour.
Jeez.
So what? Times 100, we're looking at 60 grand or something, yeah.
Damn.
Now, bear in mind, not everybody goes 100 sessions. I mean,
No.
I was just fortunate, and I had enough issues to deal with that.
You
I took
100
everything with
sessions.
me. Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know I had issues when it took 100. When he was finally saying, "Okay, Gareth, I think I'm done." I mean, you're done. Yeah. But they actually do help. But I would actually love to make it like a reality TV show of you going to a psychologist.
Oh, my word.
I would pay to watch it. It'd be hugely entertaining.
I'm kind of wondering whether I should say thank you for that or screw you for that. I'm on the fence here.
Well, I just think the thing would be entertaining in the sense where the psychologist hasn't really. Okay, they have met everybody, but I'm just saying that they've met you and like, okay, this is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Yeah, like maybe into the like 9th or 10th session, you might be bringing up like something. People are like, gosh, it's easier to make blood. What do they say? To make blood out of a stone.
It's trying to get blood out of a stone.
Yeah. It could be entertaining. I would imagine with everything so down, it might just take one moment of a bill, and then you would just be like, for like hours on end.
And they go, well, yeah, or like 1 hour, and then it's like all done, and then, well, there goes the reality show. Okay, well.
Oh, well, it's worth a shot, though. I think it might take more than an hour, but...
Yeah, I'm not going on TV and talking about my feelings. It's not going to happen anytime soon.
Okay, so reality show's out.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good idea. I'll just let the guys know on the network that my idea isn't really worth it. So,
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
so I'll just leave it there. Yeah. All right. Well, it was worth a shot. But yes, so we are colourful just in our own ways.
Yes, we are.
Now you may go.
Okay, awesome.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to rein you in. I just
No.
wanted to Okay. As much as I wasn't being horrible, I promise. I love you, Bruce. It's fine.
I love you too, man.
Good, man. All right. This is a topic that you mentioned to me, and I was like, yo, I didn't know much about it, so I thought about this. And I think this is where we were saying, where I went through it, and I was like, damn, like that I like really felt it and experienced it. And it's not that you don't have emotions, which is why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But you kind of you find it easier to black and white, kind of like compartmentalize. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I was saying to, like, when Gareth was saying, yeah, he had, he was very expressive about how he felt about the subject.
Yeah.
Whereas, I was looking at it and I was just researching it, and I just basically saw facts and data. Like, there's definitely a part of me that goes, man, this is really
of
hectic.
course, yeah.
This is a problem, and this is a very scary thing. But yeah, I didn't react quite like you did. So, but I tend to do that with all our podcasts, especially the serious ones. I'll be like,
yeah, you do it well.
I'm just kind of researching, and I'm getting the facts,
Yeah.
and I'm getting the data, and
Which is actually why this works so well with us.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So basically, what I decided to bring up was the fact that we have spoken about the on the subject of euthanasia, of legally
Yes.
assisted suicide.
That's
basically.
correct. It was I think it was in the podcast that was still audio.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was a very broad sort of
Yes.
blanket discussion.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to know more about euthanasia itself, that's probably bounce back a bit and I'll actually find out what number it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, what I found was quite disturbing was news coming out of Canada and what they're busy doing. So,
Yes.
with Canada being one of the countries that are sort of leading the advocacy, should we say, for legal medically assisted suicide.
Yes.
Medical assisted dying, which is MAID,
Is that what it's called?
MAID. Yeah.
Bless you.
What's that?
I've got a pet inside.
Oh, okay. The ghost in the machine.
The ghost in the machine.
Was
Carry
it
on.
Chicken.
Okay, guys, I apologize. Let me just.
The ghost in the machine has new mail.
I'm sorry, Bruce. Can I? And I'm going to switch it off. I just wanted to see the one on euthanasia. Sorry, I didn't mean it to all go off when my phone was right by the microphone. It should actually be off. But I just want to see, just so, if anybody wants to go into the euthanasia one and they're just interested about it. Episode 21. Thank you. Now I'm going to shut this phone off. I apologize, guys. Thank you.
Medical assistance in dying. So that is what the word, or the acronym MAID stands for. Okay. So, and this was made legal in Canada in 2016. So fully, with conditions. Okay. So just a tiny bit of a background or whatever. So it became legal under what they call Bill C-14, and it is legal for Canadian citizens. It was legal for Canadian citizens 18 and older, with certain conditions in place.
Yes, that's right.
They had to have a serious medical condition or a disease or a disability in advanced irreversible state of decline.
Yes.
And death had to be reasonably foreseeable. Like if they could tell within the next 3-6 months, okay, this person is absolutely 100% going to pass away from this condition.
Yeah.
That was sort of those were sort of the caveats, should we say, to that being even a possibility.
Yeah.
And then the law was then later amended to allow non-terminally ill people to choose death. As a
Was that with the older ages though, or with the younger age?
Not yet. So this was still 18 and over. So essentially adults.
Cool.
Now anyone above the age of 18 with any sort of disease or disability could now apply.
Okay.
So the parameters got widened hugely. It's like, well, I'm in a wheelchair, or I've got any sort of disease that is making my life a living hell, or whatever. I'm going to, even if it maybe is curable or manageable.
Okay.
For example, just one example was a guy by the name of Alan Nichols, and this man was a 60-year-old man who had lost his hearing at age 12.
Okay.
And it was on that reason alone that he was allowed to be medically assisted to die.
Age 12.
Well, he had been deaf since age 12.
Oh, okay.
And he was in his 60s. And
so he waited until he was 60.
He decided that he could he could no longer live with this. But according to his family and everything, it was actually, he could have been managing it better. Apparently he wasn't using his cochlear implant that he had. It wasn't like he was completely helpless, and he just decided.
But he just said, "I'm done."
Because of the law now allows me to make this decision, and he went for it, and which obviously upset his family.
Well,
hugely.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, and I guess we can get into it later, but to me, it's not MAID if you're choosing to do it, especially with like a non-life-threatening thing.
Exactly.
You could see it as suicide.
Yeah, it's like, it's like life is hard. I'm going to opt out.
Yeah,
I'm legally allowed to do it.
Well, that's the thing, because when it wasn't on the table, he probably wouldn't have killed himself.
Yeah, but now he's like,
now there's an option, and it's not specifically killing yourself. It's an actually assisted.
It's like a legal thing. It's like it's a medical procedure.
It takes away from the fact, it moves the way, it moves the look of, the focus on I'm killing myself to, while I'm actually getting medically induced because, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting how all that language gets used.
Yeah, when it suits the person, when it suits what's happening, yes, the language changes.
It reminds me of a quote from George Orwell's book 1984. I tend to bring up that book a lot in our podcasts, where he states, if thought can corrupt language, then language can corrupt thought. You know, it can start with a thought and then turn into actual words that are spoken.
Yeah.
Then words that are maybe written into law,
Mm-hmm.
and then laws. Then it just becomes this vicious circle.
Mm.
And it's interesting how much we're seeing of that these days.
Oh my gosh,
Lions
George
and-
Orwell was he was ahead of his time, man.
Yeah, you know,
That book itself was such
I think I need to listen
wisdom
to
and
the
thoughts in that.
audiobook again.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was. Chris see things in advance, man.
Yeah. So now if these this new law is now amended,
Yep.
by March 2023, Canada could be allowing so-called, and here we go with the language again, mature minors
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, "Come on, guys!
to
How
be
can a minor be mature? A minor isn't even mature enough to drive a car or
Thank
to
you,
go drinking
which is one of my
alcohol,
points.
but they're mature enough to have their life taken away from them."
Yeah, that's well, apparently 4-year-olds can choose their own genders. So, you know, why can't they decide if they want to kill themselves or not? Literally, that's where we're going.
But they wouldn't call them killing themselves. They would call it medically
Medically assisted
assisted.
dying.
You see, because I'm being assisted, so that takes away the focus of I'm killing myself. I'm actually being assisted, which then gives you the question, asks you the question that the other person who's assisting, and this is what we also discussed with the euthanasia one, like the original, is that if it's assisted, then the person who's putting in the for like the I think most of it's done with injecting certain liquids, certain medical what's the word I'm looking for?
I honestly can't remember the.
Okay, but basically
intravenously.
yeah, and it's a whole bunch of cocktails
Yes.
that actually their sole purpose is to give you a cardiac arrest, and then you pass away from that. But the question is, so it's not suicide; it's medically assisted. So the person who puts in, this is a whole other discussion, which we actually did. So go back to that last episode I mentioned. But the fact that the person who puts that injection in you, pushes the final part of the, into your system, they're also playing part of God in that one.
Yes. Yeah.
They're playing God, but that doesn't also take away the person saying, "Well, yes, I'm not going to kill myself because that's not in my power, but I'm going to give you power,
Yeah.
so I can wash my hands off it. I didn't do anything."
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's something else we talked about in that episode. Basically, the Hippocratic Oath means nothing.
Yes.
Means absolutely nothing.
No.
No. I mean, it's just like do no harm. Sorry, but
Yeah.
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 How does that?
Yeah.
So it flies in the face of everything that you would learn as a doctor.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, let's see let's go further down this rabbit hole.
Yep. Let's go.
So, and these mature minors, so to speak, very woke.
Sorry that
That's a bit of a wokey language, eh? Sounds like a wokey.
I don't think it's a woke thing. I think it's just language for the people in power to use, that they don't feel terrible about assisting minors, because that's why it's there.
Underage children.
Because it's minors, it gives you more guilt. But if you say mature minor,
Oh, then that's okay.
then it takes away a big portion of your guilt because they're obviously mature enough to ask for their lives to be taken.
Okay, so what we were saying is that these mature minors, these children, can now actually be euthanized. Sorry, even without their parents' consent.
After a certain age.
Yeah,
You're right, but it's only after a certain age. It's not with every minor, no.
Yeah.
I'll find it for us. But it wasn't, not every minor can do this. It's past a certain age that they are allowed to do that.
Yeah. So what I've got here is that there's an organization in Canada called Dying with Dignity. They advocate for the minimum age to be 12 years old.
Of what?
For the mature minor in question.
Meaning after 12.
After 12.
You can choose.
Yeah.
So before 12, no euthanasia whatsoever.
No. But after 12 years old, they're advocating for that to be the minimum age.
Okay, so under 12, they're saying that you shouldn't.
No, because apparently under 12 you're not mature.
But what are the laws in Canada on that though?
That I'm not sure of. Because at the moment it's only anyone over 18, but now they're extending the 18 down to 12 years old.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you were saying there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Did you know that I mean, we can go. I mean, it's obviously on Canada, but I found this very interesting though. Is that the Netherlands allows? So this is not so what we're talking about now is not something new.
No, it's not.
It's new in Canada, and I think it has gotten bigger. Like being made more aware now that Canada's doing it. But in Netherlands, they allow it. This is what I was looking for. So I was in the wrong country. But basically, they're allowing for 12 years old up with parental consent and 16 years without it.
Right.
So at the age of 16, like I said, you can't drink, you can't drive, but you can ask to have your life taken. And again, though, it's not like you can arrive at a doctor's place and say, "I want to take my life." It's a whole it's a whole procedure, though.
Yeah.
It's not just hi, my name is so and so, I want to die.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more involved in that. I mean, I'm sure there's there's a whole protocol before you can actually take someone's life. Because, I mean,
yeah. But the fact that option is on the cards, is it's on the table is quite scary.
And then, interesting enough, euthanasia for babies 12 months and younger is also legal in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So what it's saying, and this is I've got a good example from this, and I'm sure I've spoken about this in one of our episodes and stuff. But my brother, so my mum had German measles before, while she was pregnant. And German measles, if you are pregnant and you get it, the chance of your child being born with a I wouldn't say a deformity, but
disability.
Thank you so much. That's the word I'm looking for. With a disability is very high. So I think it was a few months into my mum's pregnancy, and the doctors involved went to her and said that they suggest highly that she chooses to abort, because she has German measles and there's a high probability of issues with her child. And I actually had a chat with my mum about that last night, and she said to me that she couldn't make that choice.
Yeah.
Like, she's not made to have a choice to take someone's life. So my brother was born. He was born deaf. But look, he's like 42 right now. 41. And he's an amazing person. He lip reads. He has a huge job. and he's my brother, and I love him,
Right.
and I don't want to think of a life that I don't have without him. Now, it is difficult for him at times. It is, like his hearing and his cochlear implants, which is from another episode, are not doing what they're meant to do. So he's having, ups and downs. But the point being is that he's an amazing person. I love my brother, and when we actually do hang out, which is not all the time, it's just one of the best things for me. So the thought of my brother not being around, this kind of gives it a lot more availability to go and do it. And not every person is like my mum. There will be people like, okay, crap, I will have a child that will have some form of issue with the rest of their lives. Can I deal with it? I think if this option was off the table, obviously there'll be a lot more people alive, and also I think the mother will not have such a thought towards, maybe I should not have my child, maybe let me look for a place for an abortion. I don't think that would really be a thought process. But now that this availability it gives you more of an option. It gives you like a way out. It gives you like, oh, okay. So it won't be as bad because, it's available and it's easy and it's legal. And so I can, where if it was, abortion and stuff, which in some countries, isn't legal, it's a lot more of a mental involvement with your child. It's a lot more, whereas in doing something like this, it takes away the slight, it takes you away from your child in some way, as in, because the choice is now not really yours anymore. You have the allowance to do it, therefore, and that's in Netherlands. And then in Belgium they have no age restriction, but they require parental consent for children younger than 18, and it mandates though that the child must have a terminal illness or be near death.
Right. Okay.
So Belgium at least have like some form of regulations with it.
Yeah.
Where you just can't go out willy-nilly and get it done. So at least there's some form of structure. In Canada, it sounds like it's just a free-for-all.
Yeah. Because there's such a liberal society.
Yeah. Tongue in cheek there.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's what you're talking about, and how we're talking about Canada being such a liberal society. In a 2021 survey that this advocacy group Dying with Dignity did, showed that 64% of Canadians support access to medically assisted death for mature minors. Sure, more than half the population
That's a lot.
are supportive of it. Yeah, that's very scary.
Mm-hmm.
And what we also need to now keep in mind is we talk about, if we think about scientific studies that have come out that indicate that a human brain does not fully develop before the age of 25. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. So lots of studies have been done about how the brain is incredibly malleable and
Until 25. Really?
and until it's basically
Wow, I didn't know that.
And
I mean, for me, it's still not happening yet. So 25 is not true.
yeah, better late than never.
Better late than never, yeah. Okay.
You're a work in progress.
Yes, that's right. I'm okay with that.
So specifically it's the prefrontal cortex of the brain, and what that does is that governs your impulses and your thought organization.
Yeah.
So when you're a child, when you're young, you're impulsive. You just do things, kind of thing, and that part of your brain needs to develop and mature so that you go, okay, that's not a good decision or whatever. And that kind of thing, and that only really develops by about age 25 or so,
Really?
and then
Okay.
so that's why when you have a 12-year-old, they're not cognitive in what they're actually
Yeah.
their cognitive thinking is not where it should be.
Yeah.
And so that whole thing of like that term mature mind just seems like an oxymoron to me.
Oh, it is. It is.
You know,
Absolutely.
look, you can get some kids, and you know, I run into some kids all the time that have just, yes, man, kids like 13 years old, but man, he's got his head
The
on straight.
maturity is way past the age, yeah.
There's definitely a maturity there, and
But
I
the
don't-
majority.
But I mean, yeah, I think a kid like that is also not going to be thinking about suicide.
No.
You know, that's like no. So
Well, you would think.
yeah. So basically, and this is really just kind of one of my last points here is that a big concern is that children and young adults, kind of below the age of 18, will now see assisted suicide as an escape from circumstances that are
That's
probably
exactly
likely
what
to
it is.
improve. Everyone, it sucks being a teenager. It's hard. It's supposed to be. You know?
But I would imagine, though, that teenagers in general, that they're not going to take this option without at least the doctor seeing them in some form of with a health issue.
Yeah.
I don't believe that someone can just go to a doctor because they're feeling shit about their lives and say,
Yeah.
kill me. No.
Exactly. Yeah.
They will have to have some form of mental or health issue before the doctor can even think
Yeah.
about this kind of thing.
Yeah. But no, that's what I'm saying is there's a concern that it might go that far to just allowing that. And look,
Then we're lost.
Let's hope not. Yes, we obviously, if that happens,
If that ever happened,
then it's
a society there is completely lost.
Yes, but
Oh, really?
that's why I'm saying there is a concern.
If that
that
happened,
there
but
might
if that happened, then God must come down and
Yeah, because it's like
Smite,
if you,
I don't
if you
know.
just smite them.
I shall smite them down.
Well, it's Canada, you know.
It's so small. It's just to go. Just a little bit of.
I'd still love to go to Canada. I just won't live there. I'd still love to see Canada. But
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but I mean, yeah. When you think about, okay, how liberal can you get as a society, where that type of thing at that extreme can actually be allowed? You know, will it eventually get to the point where it's like it's so easy to fill in a form?
I would like to think it should never, but
I'd
seeing
like
what's
to
happening
think
now,
as well, but
I have the hope. I have the empathy that will hopefully stay. That's just ludicrous. If there's a health issue, because that's the only thing, you don't take your. Well, I'll bring it up. I mean, you don't take your pet to the vet to be euthanized because they're healthy.
yeah,
Or they look sad one day. A vet will be like, well, there's no need to put your dog down
Or your dog's
because they're
barking a
not
little bit
sick.
too much.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, or my dog goes around the house and it pees everywhere.
yeah,
Okay, so it's irritating. It's going to pee for the rest of his life in the house. I'm going to take it to the vet and say, can I? And the vet's going to say no. A vet will almost undeniably say no. And you can say, why?
there's no reason.
It's
There's no,
peeing me off, excuse the pun. It's like, really irritating me. I believe the vet would say, well, in our oath, we just can't put down an animal because you're not happy with it.
Yeah.
Because it's causing you a little bit of pain every single day. So if a vet won't do that,
yeah.
and
That's it. That's right up there with the convenience of just abandoning a kitten in a box at the side of the road.
yes,
I can just drive away.
and if that's the case, is that what we're going to be doing with our own families, with our own
Exactly.
kids?
Yeah.
Put them in a box at the doctor and say, here.
Well, I'm struggling with hope for society. Gareth, I think it still has hope.
I'm trying,
I
Bruce.
think you need
I'm
to hold on
trying.
to that for both of
For
us.
both of
because
us.
I think my grip has
Yeah, I know.
my grip has loosened.
Especially after this, I do,
I'm kind of,
agree with you.
um,
Yeah, I think, my mum said this to me, when I read a few of these things. I can't remember her exact wording, but it was just basically saying, I wonder what God's going through right now. In the sense of like, it's becoming easier and easier to have the allowance to say, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But God is God in the sense where He has given us free will.
Correct.
Otherwise, our lives would just be stuck to the robotic form, and there's no point in it.
Yeah.
So because He wants good for us, unfortunately, also it opens up the doors for. I would say this is bad. In fact, I used the word evil when I spoke with my mum. Maybe that's a bit too intense, but if you can, it's just too easy, and it's just mature minds. I'm sorry, that's always going to get me. It's just say it's a good word to use so you don't feel so guilty when you're allowing young people to take their own lives.
Yeah.
That's what I say to them.
So we'll keep an eye on this and see what transpires.
It'll be your eye on it. My eyes are closed now.
Transpires in the large land of Canada.
Canada. Yeah, no. Yeah. Let's hope it doesn't get to that point.
Yeah. I am done. I'm done with the world. I'm done with this
And I think you're done in general.
Podcast episode.
And empathetically, I'm also done. So this is where we say thank you. It is a bit of a heavier conversation, guys, but we don't shy away from heavier stuff.
Yeah. So please, engage with us in the comments. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe.
Yep, we're on 37 episodes. 37 subscribers.
You mean 57?
You're right, Bruce. Where did I get 30 from?
Geez, like,
Do you see how empathetically tired I am? Well, I'll just drop it. Yeah, because you know why, Bruce? Because the 20 which left, they chose to leave and die on their own. So I guess that's why we're now down. Sorry, they had the allowance to choose if they wanted.
They exercised their free will.
Yes. And because of this episode, we lost 20.
Which is they're completely allowed to do.
They are, Bruce.
Bastards.
It's sad. It's horrible. And it's...
I hope they die. No. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
Where did that come from?
There's me going 0 to 100, eh?
Hey.
Sorry, that was me getting emotional. Then we dialed it back.
Emotional.
Emotional. Damn.
You know, the one thing that we... So yes, we do have 57. The one thing that we never even, brought up, which... It's a very small thing, but do the people actually think about their friends and family before they say, I'm done? Because a death doesn't... When you die, you're gone.
Mm.
You leave behind friends and family who have to pick up the pieces, who have to live for the rest of their lives with that on them. So it's not just the easy thing about saying, well, you know what? I have the option. I'm just going to get it done.
Yeah.
It's got ripple effects.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not only... I wouldn't say for everybody, but for some, it's a very selfish choice. Very selfish choice. Because like I say, when you're gone, it's who's behind there to pick up all the pieces. That's also part of it.
Yeah.
So, good golly gosh, Bruce, thank you for this topic. I am seriously.
Sorry, bro.
No, sometimes we have to go this route, and I have hope that people will change their views and their hearts, and it will never get to that point. I don't believe it will get to the point, because that's when it just breaks. That's when society just breaks down.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's time for it yet.
Well, we shall see.
We shall, Bruce.
This has been Spaghetti Junction Podcast. My name is Bruce.
I'm Gareth, and before we end, make sure you watch. And by the way, very quickly, we are getting more and more views in general.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you for everybody watching or listening or whatever. Some can subscribe more if you'd like to, no pressure. Next episode is quite a cool one.
Yeah.
Quite an important one, actually. So stay tuned for episode 91.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys, for watching, listening, and all that kind of stuff.
Thanks, guys. Catch you in the next
Cheers,
one.
guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.